Harihi Om. Sai Ram, Vandanam, Namaskar, Vanakkam, Assalamu Alaikum and Sat Sri Akal. Last time we looked at love. Today, let's move on to peace. The moment you say peace, you think, tranquilness, stillness, peaceful, no noise, freedom from external disturbances. But actually, this state of tranquility or quietness has nothing to do with external stuff. It is to do with how we are internally. Because the internal self only comes out and reflects as the external situation. So you can go to a very busy area, like a bus station and a train station, and you can actually meditate there and just numb yourself from all the sound, numb all the sound, complete zero volume outside, because you are fully at peace inside. You have that capacity, you have that ability, right? You can do that. It's freedom from the internal disturbances that actually partner with the external disturbances and disturb you. But if internally you're quiet, you can still your mind, you can actually cut off every form of external disturbances and be in a state of contentment and peace. That means you're at harmony with yourself. So what I'm saying is peace is actually within you. Don't go outside looking for something because it's present right inside of you. Go within on a journey of self-discovery and arrive at the destination of peace. Right? So let me tell you the story about wealth and poverty. Once they approached a merchant and they introduced themselves as, I am the goddess of wealth, and this is my sister, she is the goddess of poverty. The merchant offered his salutations to both of them and said, I'm very blessed to see both of you, but could I ask what brings you to my humble abode, my house? The goddess of wealth said, well, we want to judge you. We want you to judge, actually. Not that we want to judge you, but we want you to judge as to who is more beautiful between the two of us, right? So the merchant was in a fix, he was, and he knew he was between the devil and the deep blue sea, as they say, right? If he said wealth is more beautiful than poverty, then the goddess of poverty will be, obviously she'll be disappointed, angry, and all those things, right? If he declared, and she will say, okay, I will show you who I am, right? But if he declared the goddess of poverty as more beautiful, then goddess of wealth might leave him and say, since you said your poverty is more beautiful, stick with it, right? Then the man thought for a while. He just, just kept quiet for a while. And then, after a few minutes, having regained his, balance or composure, he said, I have great respect for you both. Would you please act according to my instructions? Because then I can, judge or do what you ask me to do. So the goddesses agreed to follow what he tells them to do, right? So he says, goddess of wealth, would you please go to the entrance gate and walk towards me? And Mother Poverty, as goddess wealth is doing that, can you walk from myself towards the gate? So I'm able to then have a good look at both of you from near and from far before I decide. So the two goddesses walked as the merchant had wished and had instructed them to do, right? So the goddess of wealth was asked to go to his gate and walk towards him, whereas the goddess of poverty was asked to, walk away from him towards the gate, and both of them will meet halfway, right? So the two goddesses did that, and the merchant was looking at them. And then, they both came back to him and they said, well, what is your verdict? And the merchant, very beautifully, he circumvented his predicament, right? That had befallen on him. And in doing so, he not only came out of the problem, but he also handled it so beautifully. He said to the two goddesses, Mother of wealth, goddess of wealth, you appear very beautiful when you enter the house. And Mother Poverty, you look stunning when you're actually leaving my house. So the two goddesses really were taken by his answer, because he put them both on the same pedestal, but from a different perspective, right? And they both blessed him, and the goddess of wealth said, I have come into your house and you will always have my presence, right? And his sister, goddess of poverty, says, you will never face poverty in your life again. So she came in and she left, just like he had told them to do, right? So the moral of the story is, when you have problems in life, and we all have problems, and you will have problems as well, right? Always look within and think calmly for a minute or two, just like the merchant did. He was faced with a predicament, and instead of going, oh my God, what am I going to do? He just went within. And just for a moment or two, he remained silent. And in that silence, he heard the voice of wisdom speak to him, right? Only when a serious problem comes, we need to go within and become still and be in that peace, because only when we are at peace with ourselves can we overcome everything else with ease. That's a classic. Never be in a hurry. Do everything quietly and in a calm spirit, even if your whole world is looking upset or topsy-turvy, because peace comes from within. If you're not peaceful inside, the world you see will be extremely chaotic. And you know what Einstein said? The great Albert Einstein. He said, peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by right understanding. Right? There is peace even in the storm. Van Gogh said that. There is peace even in the storm. Shall I see you next week? Stay blessed.